Howdy folks, it's rjhelms here, back with episode 5 of Let's Play Factorio. So since the last episode, it's been a while, I have upgraded to the latest patch of Factorio and updated all the mods that were installed, which doesn't do anything significant. The biggest thing is there's a couple nice new features in Overhaul, which will be handy when we get into doing rail laying. I also installed another mod, which is the RSO Radar mod, and that just, if you hear, I've got a radar here which I actually have to put down. It bumps the range of the radar up quite significantly, and by the same token, greatly increases its energy consumption. So I'm going to plop that down. Really, actually, just somewhere central is probably the best place for it. And that's going to hose our electricity. But you can see it's faster, and it covers a much bigger area than the existing radar does, the vanilla radar, which is very handy as RSO spreads out the resources quite significantly. So with that in place, we're going to be pretty low on electricity, as expected. In the last episode, we got our red and green science set up, and you can see here we're making a lot more red than we are green, and they should be balanced, and that's because of an iron shortage. So we're working towards oil processing and railways. We have oil processing, but we really need to get fluid handling, which we're researching now, to make that practical. And we're eventually, sooner rather than later, going to want railway as well, so that'll probably be the next thing I'll go for. But in the interim, I'm going to want to beef up our power supply. I only have one column, so let's look at building a second one. So 10, 13, 14 of those, 10 of those, a pipe to ground, or a water pipe, and I'm going to make 5 pipe to grounds, but that's more than I need. Oh yeah, we got tons of everything we need to bring the coal down. It can share the same coal belt. And the other thing we'll need is 14 burner inserters. Okay, here we go. And then wait for the next 5, and this will just double our power consumption. In the long term, we'll probably want to move away from steam towards solar, because you do quickly get diminishing returns on power production, just proportionally speaking, right? Like at this point, I can, by building one more line, double my power production in, once I've got 5 or 6 of these, each new line is proportionally less. That's the same with solar, but it becomes a lot less of a resource drain. So we will go for that as and when we unlock it, but at this point, there is no trouble whatsoever with just sticking with these basics. I think I have all the tech needed to do solar power, so and there's that, and then finally these guys. And the line kicks into action, and we should see our power demand drop down to about half. Half of the burners or the boilers active once this gets up to temperature. Yeah, there we go. Beautiful. Yeah, we were actually pinned quite a bit by a power shortage. Really, once I plop down that radar, you can actually see it being the problem. Now, do I have the technology for better power poles? No, I want that soon too. But for now, let's just plop down some power poles. Or build some power poles. And Just want to see what I want to go to exactly next. I guess the next big thing, of course, is to increase iron production. However, we can. How many burners long is this? 4, 8, 12. I don't really want to make that any longer until such time as I get steel, steel furnaces in place, which I don't believe I can build yet. So I'm just going to double this line up. I'll feed it with the same iron line, and we can look at boosting that later, but the iron line is well backed up, so I don't think that'll be a problem. Alright, and the same approach for building this guy as we've done for all the other ones. Oh, there we go. Okay. Excellent. Okay, so what do I need for railway? Logistics 2 and engine. I'm actually going to go... Yeah, I'll go for logistics 2 first. Right, I need some more splitters. And some more pipe, or not pipe, underground belts. Once I've got this all powered, I can go nab some more inserters. Yeah, I do need more inserters. Soon enough I'll be able to start blueprinting this stuff. It doesn't really pay off until there's bots. That's one of the fun things about this game, right? Is that the actually, I don't want to bring this up here. The challenges you've kind of already solved, so to speak, can, you know, get more and more trivial as time goes on. So what actually consumes all your time at one point in the game, later on, is, you know, automated out of existence, and you move on to kind of newer and better things. And so I could split this, or keep this as 2 belts. It actually looks like, yeah, I am producing more than just one belt's full, so I am going to do that. So the idea here is just after each place that every line will kind of take off this kind of outermost line, and then after each split like that, I balance again. That's what I want. So here I'd have to duck under those and then split again here. And I'm not producing quite enough iron to feed both these lines, it looks like. But you can already see this is going almost completely full tilt. Beautiful. Okay, so towards railway, I just need engine now. There you are. So I'm actually going to start. That's the circuits right there. That's wonderful. Actually, it's not so great because I want circuits and gear wheels to be split. I'm going to start making mining drills because I'm going to want them in a fairly large quantity. And then once I have those done, I guess I'll get an engine line going. If the research is done. And you are going to be just iron. So you will make me mining drills, and you'll get plopped out into a box. I probably want 100. Nice, and there's engines. I should probably think about getting into actually building fast inserters. I mean, this stuff here, the skimming off this production for my blue or my green science works well enough, but it doesn't work so well because there's a whole chain of things you can build off of inserters, namely the better inserters, and same thing with the belt, the faster belt, and all the other things, the underground belts and the splitters all come off of this belt. So there's actually a better chain you can build, kind of purpose build, and so maybe I want to do that sooner or later. But let's look at engines. Okay. So engines you can't pocket craft, which is interesting. So I need steel, iron gear wheels, and pipes. Okay, so it's time to get some steel production going. I'm going to start with a really minimal steel line for now. I should go for 8. So it's our exact same pattern. I seem to be pretty low on coal. That's a little interesting. Then for this, what I'm going to do is actually skim off this. Snake it into there. It's not the most elegant way to do this, but it should be fine. Plop down the power poles. And then bring this home. Right next to the gear wheels. Alright, so that'll bring steel up, which we can use to start building engines. But in the interim, let's while we wait for that to start showing up, which is going to do in pretty sparse amounts. We need to get some more coal coming down. I mean, that'll double it. That should be adequate. This will connect those up. It'll more than double it. And then let's see what we can do as far as getting more iron in. I'm bringing down almost a full belt. Okay, railway. So I need automated rail transportation, and I need signals. I also really badly need lights here. Okay, so let's... bring this down. Since that's all on one side, I'm going to want to build a balancer. Let's take a look at that. Is that going to be... Okay, so I do actually want to bring down a full second belt. Oh, need more transport belt. Yeah, steel is coming through very slowly. I'm not even fully feeding those 8 furnaces. Okay, so let's bring this down. Yeah, that's how we'll do this. So it's the exact same principle. I do balance those up here, right? Yep. You know, actually, what I could do for now, because it's only 2. This is to avoid kind of overcomplicating things. Is actually just do this. And then I've got these 2 belts, which will come through equal, and they'll go equally to the 2 furnace columns. And we'll see if that's quite enough to feed them, or if we need to even boost up production more. But it's looking pretty promising. So that's actually going to be a pretty good place to call it for this episode. Next episode we can start on, I guess, getting the basics of rail transportation in place. So start by building engines and track. Get a farl in place and see where we want to go, I suppose. This is looking like where we're going to want to tap next, because there's lots of iron and copper. And then rail signals, nice. And then down here we can look at getting more oil, and of course there's alien science here. And I think what my strategy is going to be is kind of every depot that I place, I'm going to plop down another radar and kind of grow that way. You can see kind of with... I'm actually amazed at how big this water is. That's really something. You know, if I build one here, it's going to connect, and then if I build one here, they're going to overlap the radars. We'll have continuous coverage, which isn't so important in a game without biters, but that'll kind of be our approach to grow. And I'll need to decide where I want the depot itself to be. It's a little bit of a tricky question. But that'll all be things to think about next episode. So until then, thanks so much for watching. I've been rjhelms. This has been Let's Play Factorio Episode 5. As always, please leave a comment if you have any thoughts or feedback about this video or this series or my channel in general. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you want to see more things like this, and I'll see you next time. Thanks so much.